How did
I'm
you
just-
reach
do
that
that.
conclusion that you're a hermaphrodite?
I think he was trolling.
Oh yeah, I always
Yeah.
forget. I forget that they do that on the internet.
Sure do.
What episode number is it? 71?
I have no idea anymore.
I shouldn't
should
even
know.
say it. Whatever. Hello everyone. Welcome to Podsoid for another week. Aren't you lucky getting it all for free and good? I'm Jim Sterling. I'm your host as usual, and I'm joined by Jonathan Holmes.
Hey.
Jonathan Holmes.
Hi.
Like sugar on my lips. Like
I am?
Scoville. Yes.
Hello, how are you, everyone?
Scoville. I'm really tired. That's
Why?
why
That's
it's
Yeah.
turning terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's bullshit.
I was up late doing some drinking for
Really?
Celebrate for Make Money,
You
and
made money?
making good money, good business
good.
things. I can't talk
Huh.
about. I'm killing prostitutes.
For
And-
money?
Yes,
It's a profit deal?
yes.
I
Have you
wasn't aware
not
of that.
played Grand Theft Auto?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You
That was one of the
Kill a
first things.
prostitute, and they always have £1,000. Tara Long is another person who's on the podcast. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Almost thought you forgot about me.
No, you're always in the back of my mind, like a tick or cancer, and I mean that in the most heartfelt and
Aw.
romantic of ways.
Thank you. You didn't
Ticks
have to
and
say
cancers, they're
If you wanna-
sometimes not bad.
If you want
Both
to
of
pick
them.
up the prostitutes, you have to drive a nice car, though. That's the trick.
In real life or in the video game?
I don't know. I haven't tried it in real life. I'm a terrible driver.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen you drive a car. That's true.
Yeah. Yes, you have. You're like one of the only people in San Francisco who has, actually.
When did I see you drive a car?
And I drove Nero's car for that Tommy Wiseau video we did.
Oh, yeah, that was great. I forgot that
literally
was you.
The only time I've driven a car in Northern California, I was wearing a wig at the time.
Yeah, I got so into that video and into character, I forgot that was you. You really did a great job in that.
And I interviewed the real man.
I know. How weird was that? And then you used the little clip there at the end of the episode. That was good.
Yeah. We've shown that on several episodes, actually.
That's fun. I'm glad that existed. You were a little worried that was going to be crappy. I remember, Max, but I talked you into it.
It was weird.
It was
I-
weird.
It
But-
aged well.
I'll tell you what's weird, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because I've been sniffing a Sharpie all afternoon, right? And what is weird to me is if they don't want you sniffing them, why do they smell so alluring? It's like it's like hair drops.
Well, a Sharpie.
You're
going
going to end up in Holmes's hospital.
I don't think a Sharpie's that bad for you. It's just alcohol-based ink.
It says
it goes-
non-toxic. It says non-toxic, which means it's 100% okay to snort, isn't it?
You can eat it.
I should eat it.
Actually,
Should I eat it? Should I eat the Sharpie or not?
Don't eat it.
I'm gonna lick
Yeah.
it.
Is it
Do it.
dying or is it like a fresh Sharpie?
Oh, that tastes great. Why am I licking? What the fuck? Why am I?
Did you really
smacking-
lick it?
Yes.
No, that's bad. No.
Of course I licked it. It said non-toxic. That means it's edible. That's how it works. That's how food works.
No, the taste is bad.
Oh god.
That's how it tastes.
And this is how we start this week with me thinking, desperate to amuse, licking a Sharpie. There aren't even any cameras.
God, you're like me in high school. I was always snorting stuff and licking stuff and weird things to impress people. It never worked.
Probably got it all over. I'm pathetic. I really am a gross
Oh.
individual.
I wouldn't say that. You just were experimenting with the new flavor. We all want to just check it out.
We're all curious.
You got a lot of guts. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I know, you can see him poking out the bottom of my shirt.
No. I
That,
was gonna drink some.
That joke.
I was gonna drink some
What?
month-old Coca-Cola today at my day job because I was so tired.
How old?
Wow.
Probably a month, unrefrigerated, not
You know, it's
moldy
not-
though.
It's not like wine.
I insisted that it was, and I asked someone to prove me wrong, and they could not.
My friend
Uh,
ate some old chips once.
How'd it go?
You know, when I say chips, I mean the English chips. As
French fry.
Oh, fries.
They're not
Mm.
fries. Fries is a type of chip. It's a
Whoa.
designation. Chips are
Oh.
fat. Chips have a fatter cut. everyone.
So steak fries.
Steak fries.
You got him.
Oh, shit.
You got him.
Anyway, my friend ate some old chips. They were in an oven cold, and he was hungry, so he ate them. And then he was at the bus stop and was sick. Tune in next week for another tale.
So in high
That's
school,
what happened
I
to
used
Teen Angel.
Wow.
Well, my
Who's
friend,
the angel?
my friend
What?
lived there.
The old Teen Angel show on TGIF about the kid who eats the hamburger that was underneath that he finds underneath his bed. It's like 2 months old, and then he dies, and then his best friend becomes his guardian angel,
He
becomes his best friend's guardian angel.
That is not what happened.
amazing.
That's not true.
If that had happened
not
to my
true.
friend, I'd have just told an amazing story. The story I told was shit.
I've been really liking to tell bad stories lately. I'm not going to dare
Um,
do it today, but they can be pretty funny. Yep.
In high school, I don't know why I did this, but I used to snort like things to impress people, or like just do it at dares.
Like
Who was impressed?
Idiots, dumb high schoolers who were dumber than me. But they'd be like, "Hey, and I'd be like, "I'll snort this crushed up Altoid," and they're like, "What? He's gonna do it!" And I'd do it, and then they'd be like, "Wait, hey, come here, snort this," and I'd be like, "That's crushed up erasers. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I don't know if that's gonna work." And they'd be like, "Hey, snort this," and I'm like, "That's just a Dorito. You gotta make it like a powdered thing." And I'd make like,
go ahead.
I don't have a sense of smell anymore.
What? You don't?
Can't you
really.
get high if you snort erasers?
Like,
I've never heard that.
What
Yeah,
kind
yeah, you can totally. Our like 6th grade teacher told us about some kid, like who,
it's
like
a bold
if you,
teacher.
like like the pink pearl erasers or whatever. If you like rub
Did he
it,
come in
out-
with like his tie loosened and his hair all over the place? Said, "Kids, if you want to get off your fucking tits."
Yeah, I was going to say, he really trusted
No,
you
I
guys
just
to
stuck
not
with me,
just
but-
do it immediately.
Was
Did you guys?
was it a
did you try it?
cautionary tale? Was he telling
Yeah,
you?
did you?
he said that he accused a kid of doing it once, and the kid like came in and started doing it right in front of him.
Didn't he think you guys would
It's just
just
like, what?
immediately do it after that because it sounded fun?
No, it wasn't really a cautionary tale. It was more like look what this kid did once. Also, don't be idiots.
He just decided that like kids are doing it all the time.
This girl,
He was one of my coolest teachers. Actually, I'm friends with him on Facebook now.
Oh, that's nice.
Tell him he's mental.
Oh, he's awesome.
is he friends
Yeah,
with a lot of his former students?
Yeah,
He was at a school trying to classify erasers as hard drug substances.
No. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all.
It's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like that.
He was just regaling us with a tale. He like we liked him because he told all sorts of crazy stories, especially about his past students.
Huh. But you guys were responsible enough to not just do all the bad things he told you other kids had done?
I think you guys are missing the point of the story, which is that you can snort erasers to get high.
Holmes, you told us about how you can snort Mr. Bubble to go crazy. And every time I go in my bathroom, I see it there, and I'm like, "Hello there, Mr. Bubble."
It's not a good crazy. It's like the worst of drug abuse right there, Mr. Bubble. Bath salts, they call it.
There is a genre of porn called cum snorting,
Really?
Oh, no.
and in which I was about to say lovely ladies, but the kind of ladies that do this particular type of porn are far from lovely.
Have you seen ass smoothies?
Oh no.
Go
Jim.
on.
Jim.
Is that yeah.
It's incredible. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. No, not really, but it's pretty bad. Basically, they get these girls and they pretend they're on like a cooking show, and they like make this they like make up a smoothie, right? Like they make like a regular smoothie in a blender.
Please let this go where I think it's going.
Stop.
And then they put it in their butt.
They put the blender?
No, not
No,
the
they-
whole blender, but they put the smoothie like through a funnel. They give themselves like a smoothie enema, and then they have to like poop it out into a cup and drink it.
Oh no.
God
It's so
damn it.
bad.
You see, that didn't quite go where I was hoping it would go, where they get
Yeah,
like
same here.
they get oranges and bananas and like cut the orange into segments, and then cut up the bananas, and then shovel that up their ass, and then just clench and jump up and down a bit, and then distribute it as a smoothie from a funnel stuck up their shovel.
Well, that's
So
almost,
the ass acts as the
almost.
blender.
Chutney smoothies.
It's pretty bad because that's the thing is a smoothie looks like a smoothie unless it's coming out of someone's butt.
You guys should be nurses because the nurses at my job just want to talk about butts and enemas and prolapsed anuses.
Well, they're in the right place.
Prolapsed vaginas. Yeah. Prolapsed vagina they were talking about.
Ooh.
Someone's
Whoa.
innards coming out of their
Wow.
vagina.
That would
But
look
they-
like
Is that even possible, though?
I'm
It sure
imagining.
is.
I'm imagining like the scene in Aliens with the facehugger pressed up against the glass and the tube trying to get at someone. Is it like that or not?
That's more like the prolapsed anus is like a little elephant trunk coming out your bum. And
See, I remember I had friends in high school who were in 4-H, like doing ag and stuff, and their favorite thing to tell people who weren't doing ag, you know, they like take them apart. They'd be like, "Oh, they're gonna respect me for playing with farm animals all day," and they'd be like, "Hey, you know what a blowout is?" And we'd be like, "What's a blowout?" And they'd be like, "It's when a sheep shits out its own butthole. So you got to take a metal rod and you got to stick it in the sheep's butt, and then put a rubber band around its anus that's hanging out, and then it atrophies and falls off."
that sounds crummy.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Definitely do not Google prolapsed vaginal wall.
yeah, that happens from a
Just
collapsed
Put
bladder.
that out there. Don't do it.
Tara Long, you've basically just told me to Google prolapsed vaginal wall. You people talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna.
Yeah,
my mouse won't work.
I can't look away from it though. It looks like
Oh, you looked at it? You looking at it? That
oh
fast?
my god,
Man, you
it's so much.
fast.
It's so much worse.
Gaze
Yeah,
not
does
into
it-
the abyss.
I haven't looked yet, but I've heard it looks like uncooked chicken breast just coming out of somebody's.
Yeah, it looks like you're like permanently having a baby.
Nothing looks like that. You guys are lying to me.
I'm not going to look. I didn't go to nursing
Okay,
school.
so what's
but
the
I'm
exact
educated
words?
nurse.
Prolapsed vaginal wall.
Do they have any
And,
like amateur
scroll down a
lapsed
little bit.
vaginal walls?
Oh, the walls. The walls.
Oh wow.
Scary
Okay.
walls closing it
The
up.
great
Oh,
walls of
wow.
vaginas.
So
It gets
What
worse.
is that
as you go
noise?
down.
it looks like, not to put too fine a point on it, a cauliflower molded out of strawberry ice cream.
That's horrible. Stop it. God damn it.
Biology.
I thought it looked more like a scrotum coming out of a vagina.
There's
I
lots
don't know
of
what that looks like.
there's lots of different types. The one I'm looking at is particularly dry. I mean, it looks like it's been out for a while. It's probably aired off.
See, but a lot of them have folds and such.
Folds.
I don't even
Damn
know.
it.
This is terrible radio.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The listeners didn't tune in just to have us sort of Google searching. That's incredibly self-indulgent and rude.
That's
No,
right.
but
That's
see,
right.
Yeah,
We should
Holmes,
talk
what the
about
fuck's
stuff.
your problem, man?
Jonathan
I didn't
Holmes,
ask
Jonathan
Google
Holmes,
search.
you are a
Jonathan
rude Google. You are a rude Googling Gertrude.
I didn't Google anything. I didn't Google
You're just the
anything.
Googler. You're just a Googler, aren't you?
You are. You're Batman's newest enemy, the Google.
Jonathan Holmes, the Googler.
Google me this, Batman.
The Googler. Hey,
yeah.
Don't you look at me with those googly eyes.
You did it.
Stop listening to the band Kaja Google.
I've been so preoccupied this whole time because the talking to women about video games post was destroyed and then just fixed 2 minutes ago. It's live now, so
Google.
So
I'm live.
can you Google some pictures of fucked up vaginas now, or
I could if I wanted to.
Is that
but
what you're going to do now? Why did you invent?
leader,
Why did you invent Google, Jonathan Holmes? You
I wish I
invented Google specifically so that in the year 2011, our podcast would be fucked up because we'd be Googling for stuff.
hey Jim, you know what you should look up on Google?
Why are we still googling
Mom.
things?
Animal rectums. Just that
I
by
like
itself.
that.
No, don't do that.
Jonathan, why are you uploading fucking animal rectums on the internet? You dirty little boy.
I really don't like animal rectums,
You
but
mucky-mouthed, dirty-faced little boy.
I do like cartoon cat butts.
Go
so-
clean your diaper. It's disgusting. Dirty, shitty little boy.
I bet you have a secret, Holmes. I bet you have a secret website, and all it is like Chechnyan death videos and pictures you took of your own poop.
Jonathan Holmes is on walkingrotten.com. Like he's got all the old rotten.com images, like the guy who shotgunned his face open, like tattooed
I won't even
all
look
over
at
his
those.
body.
I won't even look at
Jonathan Holmes, you have shock images of Lemon Party and Tub Girl and Goatsy tattooed all over your body like Red Dragon. You are a 4chan Red Dragon, and we are onto your little game.
I still haven't been to
Bernard.
4chan, and I don't have a tattoo.
You are a dirty Bernard.
It seems so bad, 4chan. Is it as bad as people say?
Let's
They
not
say-
talk about 4chan.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
They will hack your internet.
I got this great 4chan cookie the other day, and it said,
Is that why it's
I was
called
watching
that?
Wheel of 4chan.
Whoa!
My favourite boss on Metal Gear Solid 2 got the Guns of the Paper. No, that's the wrong one. But 4chan!
4chan's a
Is
tough
there a
boss.
boss in
Shoots you
Metal
with
Gear
your railgun.
Is that his name in Metal Gear Solid 2?
It's the lady. She's like the sassy black lady with the blonde hair who has a railgun.
I forgot about her.
Jonathan,
There's a
Cool.
lot of sassy black people with blonde hair.
Jonathan.
Yes, yes, sir.
Jonathan Holmes.
Yes, Jim.
Jonathan. There's
Yes.
something I want to tell you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it.
Sugar. do 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 do. Oh, honey, honey. Do 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 do. You are my candy girl.
This is so awkward.
I really enjoyed that a lot.
I thought you would. I've been practicing that all afternoon.
You're 100% right. You know me well, and my tastes. You know how
I
to tickle me bones.
I'd love to tickle your bones.
People have been asking if I can get one of the psychiatrists to appear on Podtoid and just give a quick rundown. You know, like talk to us for like 10 minutes, and then give us just some diagnostic impressions.
Hey man,
I'll
I've
do
gotten
it.
enough diagnoses in my life. I know what's
I'm
up.
sure. But if you're curious, just not who you are, Max Scoville, but
I once tried to make a mental doctor tell me I had mental problems, and they said I was 100% sane.
yeah.
I'm actually certified
Were
sane.
you like keeping this man locked up in a storage unit in like outside Bakersfield?
No. I went and got myself checked out when I was feeling a bit sad. And
Sure.
this was a
Why
few
not?
years ago. I may have degenerated since then. I went there and I was like, right, I'm gonna go see a doctor and get so many excuses for my life. And I went away with none. No excuses. If I
That
was
sucks.
I was in Britain at the time, fucking NHS. I should have done it. I should have waited till I got to the US, where you can basically just buy any disease you want. That's what
It's
I
true.
should have done. I should have said, right, I'm paying you for my time, therapist. Give me something. Alzheimer's. I don't care. Just make it worth the money. Here's $500. What can I have?
It's interesting.
When I-
it's always
When I
the
was
people-
younger,
Yeah.
when I was
Yes.
younger, I was just like a sad little kid. And
Aw.
the doctors were like, "Oh yeah, he's bipolar." And I was like, "I'm like 11."
Oh, that hurts.
And I had a few doctors be like, "Oh yeah, you're bipolar type 2." And I'm like, "Oh man, that sucks. I'm a fucked up kid." And then it wasn't until like a therapist I saw like in college when I was all like fucking miserable at art school who was like, "Nah, man, you're not bipolar. It's like a total misdiagnosis. You're just like depressed and occasionally you get sort of hyperactive." And I'm like, I'm like not even like a cool diagnosis. I can't even be like an ice themed supervillain I'm like I can't be like the bipolar bear.
Exactly. That was my problem. That was my problem.
I'm like,
went
so I'm just
away.
kind of unhappy. Like that sucks.
Yeah.
It's always the way. The well people, such
It's
as yourselves,
Mm.
always want an explanation. Like, I must be crazy. And the crazy people always say, no, I'm a drug addict. I'm a drug addict.
Yeah.
Then
Well,
the
I
drug
just-
addicts always say, well, it goes like that. Yeah.
it
I'm sorry.
breaks down to like everyone's just kind of a person, and it's
Yeah.
like
True.
What does that help you?
Well, except for the people that Jonathan Holmes looks after, I wouldn't classify those as people.
Yeah.
Well, there are people whose
They're
chemicals.
they're concepts on legs at best.
Their brains are different than
When I was 13, I had a chemical imbalance in my brain.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, that's called being a
Proper.
teenager.
Well, no, I mean I had proper depression, like fascination with like stuff, like death and stuff, like proper obsessive preoccupation. And they gave me some pills and stuff. Like it was only a brief thing, but. And I've told this story on Podtoid, like ye oldie Podtoid. During this sort of depressed phase of my childhood, my mother had the only video game she's ever really gotten into. She'd suddenly gotten into Super Mario Brothers 3, the NES classic, and that was constantly on in the house at the same time. I had this sort of depressed, obsessive fear of death. So, to the point where nowadays in my adult life, even though I'm very sort of more or less well-adjusted and everything, whenever I see Super Mario Brothers or play Super Mario Brothers 3, it's associated in my mind with death and morbidity and fatality. And it's a weird thing. It's this, because they were so together, like there was this period of time when utter dank futureless depression and Super Mario Brothers.
You know what?
Were together.
I totally get that. I cannot see fish tacos on a menu without thinking of lesbians.
That's exactly the same thing.
It's a similar issue.
Oh well, that's. I mean, and this is bad, but my wife, she makes like tuna salad and stuff. And my stepson likes it a lot. And every time he says, I like my mom's tuna salad,
Wow.
I get told off because I just laugh really loudly. And then I'll look at the kids and I'll go, oh, I bet you do. Oh, dear. I'm a great role model for any child. I don't think I mentioned this on Podtoid, but the other day he was in his room. I kicked the door violently open, burst in, and started going, I'm a scat man! Just really loud.
He must have loved that.
It scared the fucking shit out of him. It was
Really?
brilliant. It was brilliant.
You didn't think it was great? I would have thought it was great
Kids
as a
these
kid.
days have no taste for Scatman John
No, absolutely
or
not.
Scatman's World.
That's a real crying shame. It comes as a surprise because
Are they
I thought
into
that was kind of
Jimmy's
timeless.
Chicken Shack at all, or Rednecks? Do they like those hits from that time period?
I don't know. I mean,
I kind of liked that one song from Jimmy's Chicken Shack. Not gonna lie,
I think I know what it is.
I don't
It's,
remember the name of it.
Hot Eye Joe.
Yeah, no.
I actually recommend not Cotton Eye Joe, but their follow-up single, Old Poppin' and Oak. You might think that sounds very similar to the name Cotton Eye Joe. Well, they're pretty much the exact same song with different words. It's really worth checking out. It's a better
Sounds like-
song.
Good
Yeah.
song.
Because
I
you've
think
got one,
almost-
you've got, oh, Cotton Eye Joe, and then their big follow-up single, oh, Papa-Dad, oh, Papa-Dad, oh, it's exactly the same.
I think like 90% of punk rock songs are the same chords as Skulls by the Misfits. It's just they're all the same actual
I think we all
notes.
felt a little bit betrayed when we found out that the Rednecks were Swedish and not actually rednecks.
Yeah, and get this. Fucking Lou Bega's a German.
Whoa, that's awesome. I love stuff like that. I love
Think he's a
trannies.
Mambo?
I love black Germans. I love Swedish rednecks.
Yeah, but like, do
Just pour it
they
on.
know about Mambo in Germany?
Yeah, of course they do.
Why?
In theory, they've read the book on Mambo.
I'm just
They've
worried
watched
that
the tape.
maybe Lou Bega is one of those, like, you know how all those Nazis went to South America after, World War II, like in The Boys from Brazil? I think
Yeah.
maybe Lou Bega is one of them.
That makes me want to talk about my mom. I'll talk about her real quick.
Go on.
She was born into a religious commune that her grandfather started and they were German, or they were in Germany. But she was born in England. Hitler kicked them out. Stop me if you guys know this one.
Personally.
Yeah.
He personally kicked them out.
He personally kicked them out. He told them, "I won't kill you because you, my great-grandmother, was related to German aristocracy." So yes, the big question about my ethnicity. Am I part German? I am. I'm part German. Sorry.
Part Hitler, apparently.
Are you the Ubermensch?
I may be. I may be the
Are you the Iron Giant?
Just maybe.
You get in the head and forget what you're supposed to be doing here.
So the
Are you Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit?
Is that his name, Judge Doom? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit. Are you the Red Skull or not?
I still haven't seen the Captain America movies. Any good?
Be quiet. I'm trying to think of more German things.
Oh, okay. So while you do that, I'll quickly tell the rest of the story. So they kicked the whole commune out, but didn't kill them because they were related to German aristocracy, and Hitler really respected the kings and queens of Germany and their whole bloodline. Moved to England, where my mother was born. Then the English were like, "What are all these Germans doing in here?" and immediately kicked them out. So she grew up in mud houses in Paraguay. That's where she grew up. But if you're guessing I'm part Paraguayan, think again, because I may not be. Who knows?
Will you reveal on the next episode of Podtoid?
No, probably not. And I may say that was a lie too. Yep.
When I was growing up, I had this book on tape that was this like, I think it was like African folk tales read by Whoopi Goldberg, and it was like Tales of Anansi. And what you just told me was so much like that. It just sounded.
When I have dreams of having sex with a woman that I don't want to have sex with, it's usually Whoopi Goldberg. She's just on me, and I'm like, no. I mean, you're all right. Oh God. Yeah, it's a pretty bad dream.
Fantastic.
Oh no, she's back in the habit.
It's more the Jumping Jack Flash era when she's like a bad girl, cat burglar. Anyway,
Jonathan Holmes, are you the Nazi in Indiana Jones whose face comes off or not?
Clot? I am not
Did
Clot.
you feed that monkey the bad dates?
Are you Victor von Gooseving from Count Duckula?
I forgot about him.
I fucking bought I got 4 boxes of Frankenberry and 4 boxes of Count Chocula from the internet.
Fantastic.
Whoa.
I'm going to have a monster festival in my house.
Stoner's breakfast.
Breakfast monsters. I don't know if everyone else knows this, but everyone knows Frankenberry and Booberry and Count Chocula, the occult cereals. But I don't know if anyone remembers Yummy Mummy, the cinnamon mummy cereal, or Fruit Brute, which was a fruity werewolf. But I'd like to tell the internet that Fruit Brute at one point was a cereal, and somebody was actually like sitting in a meeting, and they were like, "Hey, what if we had a werewolf cereal that was fruity?" And someone else with money approved that idea.
It's a fantastic idea. Kids love werewolves and fruits. Put them together. What do you got? Money.
Sam Hain.
We should talk about video games soon. There's so much to talk about.
Oh, what, Jonathan?
I am excited that Max and Tara have celebrated
what are you doing?
a birthday.
Oh, Jonathan!
They have successfully...
So, Max, go for that panic button you were talking about last week. Can we actually do that? Because I hate myself.
Wow, where are you? What, you just like warped
You're
into
far away.
I keep going. It's this microphone. It twists and turns like an M. Night Shyamalan film. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I'm really sorry for getting overexcited and shouting.
I just got called by some random dude, and I picked up by accident.
On your cell phone?
No, on Skype.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
I know. Oscar Lidholm. I just I pushed the green button by accident, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" And he's like, "Oh, hello." And I was
Oscar Lidholm?
I don't know who it is.
Oh, they'll do that. They'll see you on Skype, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's Tuesday. They usually record Podtoid. I will talk to them on Skype." Dude,
Apparently he was successful.
Jesus.
And I said, fuck. And he's like, what's up? And I'm like, who is this? I have to go. I'm recording a podcast. And he just went, it's 11 o'clock. I'm very tired. I don't know what
That's
just
so
happened.
weird.
What? That guy sounds like an arsehole.
Who just randomly calls people is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Not me. No, I don't call
I
anybody.
don't even do that on the phone with
Maybe it
people
was-
I know.
It was a Skypo.
Instead of a typo? Man, you're good.
Shut
You
up,
are
Holmes.
good. You're good. I meant it. I'm not being sarcastic. You're good. You guys celebrated the birthday of the Destructoid show yesterday. Congratulations. It's amazing.
Thank
you carried it
you.
through. When the show started, we were all afraid we were going to be like that show. What was it called? The game show? And not last.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you
I
guys,
wasn't afraid of that.
well, you're very confident. I'm filled with fear a lot of the time. And you totally nailed it. The show's never been
Thank you.
bigger. It's
Thank you
doing
for
so
being
good.
there with us from the beginning, Holmes.
Yeah, I hope to be
Gigantic shadow.
We're laying the foundation.
I'm getting a lot of "this dude sucks. Where's Max Scoville?" on my talking to women about video games videos. So Max, just so you know, cuts
Wow.
both ways.
That's when it
Wow.
happens. Familiarity breeds contempt for anything new.
Mhm.
Familiarity killed the cat, and cloning stem cell research brought him back. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, thanks,
That's-
Obama.
Oh, hey, I've got a thing that I want to plug. I just signed up to be a bone marrow donor, and all I did was I went to this place, and these people were like, "Hey, just take a swab of the inside of your mouth with this Q-tip," and I said, "Okay," and they're like, "So, sometime in the next few decades, someone might call you to be a bone marrow donor if there's a match. So you could save someone's life. So go do that or something."
That sounds
That's
great. I
Max
hope-
Scoville there,
That's
advertising health.
Charity for
Isn't
the
it
retarded.
really difficult to get bone marrow?
It apparently hurts kind of, but I was thinking
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
like crazy. Don't they go through your shin or something?
They drill holes into your pelvis, I think.
Fuck that.
Yeah. Hey Tara, we play fucking video games for a living. I felt like a jerk for that, so I was like, I'm gonna do something nice. Because I mean, it's sort of karma, Pay
Yeah.
it forward.
I guess.
Like that fucking movie
Absolutely.
with that damn kid who sees ghosts.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll
Oh, yeah.
donate some plasma.
Plasma's good. People need that plasma. It's true. So you guys aren't talking a lot about how excited you are that the first birthday and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. You're
About
excited?
that.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun.
I remember the first episode. I saw it on the internet.
Yeah, I saw it too. I felt really weird after watching it.
Yeah, same here.
Sort of bad.
Somebody, I think it was Fazunga, who's just been a fucking little thunderstorm of shits hovering over me since I started. He was
I
like,
don't know who that is
he
Fasunga.
commented on the fucking that like birthday post and that shitter of rainbow parades, that ruiner. I was like, he was like, I like how Max acted like he was there from the beginning. No mention of Holmes except for that. part.
Oh, come on.
yeah.
I'm just like,
I-
God damn it.
I did forget to mention you at the end because they brought out cake, and then my mind just wandered.
There's no need to mention me per se.
No,
and
but-
they put a click. I'm still on the show sometimes. It's not like I'm dead
Yeah.
and gone.
I want to get
Like,
you.
oh, remember Holmes? Yeah, I'm on whenever I can do a video review. You guys are always very
When's your next one
gracious
gonna be?
amongst me.
What's your next?
I don't know. I wanted to do the Bit Trip one, but I didn't have time. I tried to do it while jogging, actually. Do a video review of Bit Trip Saga and Bit Trip Complete, and I just ran out of breath, and it sucked, and then I had to go to my day job. But Zach, producer on the Destructoid show, is always asking me to do stuff, so it's not like I'm gone. I'm just not regular anymore, like Max
Yeah.
Scoville. It's gotten so good. Gotten so good
Fiber
that show.
pills.
Yeah,
Talk to your
but
doctor about regularity today.
it was a bit underhanded, I think, to just pretend that you were there from the beginning, Max. I think
It was pretty fucked up. Guess what, guys?
the kind
This
of
is-
thing a twat would do.
You know how? Okay, here's the thing about my time on the Destructoid show. I started on the first episode of the new year of 2011. I've been there the whole time of 2011.
But you'd been on a couple of times before that too.
Twice.
Oh, twice. Christmas
Twice.
episode
Christmas
and
episode.
the time I gave you flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know how in Spider-Man 1, Uncle Ben is killed by that guy who looks sort of like a Bruce Willis with frosted tips?
Oh yeah, I love that guy.
Right. And then in Spider-Man 3, they're like, oh no, wait, it was actually the Sandman.
Yeah,
That's me. I was actually there the whole time.
You were
Yeah.
manning the camera.
And
You
no one
were
believes
teaching
me.
me how to be good at things. You were giving me tips.
was like-
You're always there.
You were a
Your
cameraman.
first criticism.
Well, constructive. You were always constructive, trying to help me along. I can use all the tips I can get. I was always taking your tips. Good times.
Nice, man. Just the tips.
Yeah, I love those tips, man.
This conversation isn't about me. I'm really bored.
Yeah, let's talk about Jim Sterling. And you're playing Aliens.
Why the fuck aren't we
Chester.
talking about me? Talking about
Tell
some
me
fucking
about that Aliens game. I'm so excited about it. Tell me about
show on the internet. Jesus.
Jim, I had a great Gatorade last night.
Yeah?
I had a great one. Hold on. I'm going to go fucking get it and
Oh,
find out
man.
what kind it was. It
Aliens
was.
game.
I bought it, but I didn't. I thought it was red because it was dark out, but it was fucking fierce melon.
Oh, that is a good one.
It was a ferocious gourd of a fruit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I actually had sour melon Powerade this weekend,
Are you
which I'd
fucking
never had
kidding?
before.
That sounds
Sour-
delicious.
Sour melon, because Powerade, as I said on a previous episode, I've grown to really like it. But their flavors aren't as exotic as Gatorade. Gatorade, they push the boundaries, and they really sort of go out there, blow your mind. But Powerade, trusty, dependable, like Tom Selleck. And they had in the garage, the gas station garage. I'm doing my Americans. They had sour melon, which I got, and it was tasty. And I ate it with candy that I stole from a shit party I went to.
Really?
Yeah,
That sounds great.
it was a good night, all told.
Damn. Was this last night?
That was Saturday night.
Oh man, you've been partying it up. Is that what you've been doing?
Oh, I'm a party animal. I'm like Jim Belushi from Animal's House.
Animal's House.
The Animal's House.
Will you tell me about that Aliens game yet, Jim, please? Just a little. Just as much as you'd tell me in a preview.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. I really
How's the animation?
like
How's
it.
it look?
It's good.
Yeah?
It's like, it's all like, it's got a very 16-bit vibe to it, which
Okay.
is deliberate, I think. There's been a lot of comparisons to the old Alien 3 Genesis SNES game, which was good for the time. Aliens games have always been they've had a better track record than some licenses. And this was a real return to form. This is the game I've been wanting for years. Just a side-scrolling shooting fucking game, and it's got that Metroid vibe to it. It's really fucking tough as well. Sometimes unreasonably so. Because those aliens, they can just like close huge gaps between themselves and you, and your roll mechanic doesn't even have like an invincibility on it, which I think was crucial.
Whoa.
They should have had that. But it's tough. Like, it's a tough game. But it's most of the time it's not like fucking Blood Rain, which is WayForward's last game, where they went totally overboard. But
I'm
yeah, it's
surprised. A lot of people really like that.
What, Blood Rain?
Blood Rain, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but then a
that's
lot of
good.
people like Jersey Shore, which we've talked about before.
Hey now.
Well, did you
No
play
need to throw
Contra
stones.
4? Did you play Contra 4, Jim? Contra 4? Did you play that?
Oh.
Because Contra, I've always loved how much it rips off Aliens. That was pretty much Konami trying to co-opt both Aliens and Commando and Rambo in one, and I think they did a fine job of it. But now it's the people who made Contra 4,
Yeah.
Way Forward, actually getting to make an Aliens game. And in Contra 4, the aliens will just jump out and kill you, and you have to have split-second timing in order to avoid
Yeah.
it. You
I
really
mean, this
gotta-
is like it encourages you not to run. Like, you edge forward, and you can kind of make out an alien shape in the wall, and then you get just close enough to shoot at them, and then they'll burst out of the wall, or they'll come out of floors and ceilings and stuff.
That sounds pretty legit, though. I
It's
mean,
good. No, I mean, my only problem with it is once an alien's out, it can close the gap between itself and you, like, double quick. And every time they hit you, you'll fall to the ground, but, like, you can be shooting them with a smart gun, and they'll only stagger a little bit, and then they can choose whenever they want to shrug off the attacks. But no, I mean, it's good. I just wish that the dodge was a bit better. Because otherwise, some of those hits, I don't think there's a way to avoid them. I think some of these hits are designed like they're gonna hit you. which again might be a deliberate thing on their part, but it can get a bit annoying.
Sure.
I mean, like the game is tense, like absolutely, it's tense. For a DS game, it can be pretty scary, but it can also be annoying. And once you cross over into that irritation threshold, it can, it can reduce the tension completely. But otherwise, no, I mean, it's a really good game. I've already fought like monkey aliens.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
I fought an alien that's like their idea of a space jockey alien. Which
What?
the space jockey is the big other alien you see in the first Alien film on the spaceship, like the big
right.
creature. You
That
fight one
dude's
of
back?
those. You don't fight one of those. You fight a xenomorph that burst out of one of their chests.
Oh,
And it's the stupidest fucking looking thing. It looks like Alf from the TV show Alf. Like it's big and brown, has eyes for some reason, and a trunk. It's the stupidest thing. The monkey aliens are cool though. What else is there? No, it's just really good. They use like all legit sound effects and stuff. My only problem is they got the elephant squeal that the aliens do in Aliens, the whole meow kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the aliens don't do it when they get shot. They scream it like as a threat, which I think you'll find isn't what they do. That's something they make when they die. I know so much about aliens.
Speaking of aliens, right now I'm wearing a red elastic headband and a headset microphone, and I'm pretty sure I look like who's that one? Not Apone, the girl who does the pull-ups. Vasquez.
Yeah.
Vasquez.
I look like a white man. I look like if Vasquez and Bill Paxton had a baby.
Brilliant.
Like a
They
gangly,
weren't
stupid
dating,
white
though.
boy wearing a headband.
Who was she dating? Some guy? People are so disappointed she was straight. She's like a lesbian role model, and then she likes a dude.
Oh, how dare she!
I know.
How dare she!
She should not. She should be what other people want her to be in order to prove that you don't have to buy into expectations.
She should be punching cunts daily. How dare she!
There is kind of a weird irony when people want someone to be something specifically that they want in order to prove that people don't have to be what other people want them to be.
It is
Like Poison from Final Fight, Jim.
What?
Poison from Final Fight?
What about Poison from Final Fight?
Poison from Final Fight. There's a group of people saying she should be transgendered.
Yes, she should.
To prove that you don't have to have just biological women.
You see, my motives are different.
Okay, tell me more.
Because I just think she should have a big fat cock. Because that would be awesome, and I would high five her every day. That is why. Like, that just makes her hotter, knowing that she's got, just a huge, oh god, it's like a draft excluder. Just in there. Just she has to tape it to her leg. It's so fucking big. Oh my
love that in
god.
Japan.
And her mom's pubis is all pink and all.
Oh no. Hey,
wow. Yeah.
Hey,
Yes, Max?
I saw this great anime.
Oh, what is it?
It's on Netflix. It's called Rin.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I put it on because I was reading the description, and it's like, oh yeah, it's about an immortal private eye who likes vodka and attracts the strange. And I'm like, this sounds like it could be a lot of fan service. It is like the most excessive, unnecessary nudity I've seen in an anime in a long time.
Huh.
And it's really dumb. There's this part where she's escaping from this bad person's lair, and then it shows for exposition the part where all the henchmen call up the head bad lady, and instead of calling her up and she's sitting at a desk, and she answers the phone and she's like, "Get them, you fools!" She's just in the shower, she's taking a shower, and there's an intercom on the wall. And there's absolutely no reason that she needs to be naked in that scene, but for some reason she's naked. It's not a very good show. It's very bad.
Doesn't sound that good.
It's funny as hell though.
Unintentionally funny.
It's just kind of rapey and
creepy.
Good
It's
old
like
Rigby.
it's like Highlander if it was hentai, sort of. Highlander
Huh.
Blade Runner.
Highlander, Braid Runner.
And then I think
Hentai.
she's a lesbian, and then there's like a vampire angel or something. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
Wow. You watched it.
Yeah.
You put up with a lot of stuff. I'm always impressed with how much you're willing to just tolerate out of things. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I space out. I like stare at a wall. I tried watching Jurassic Park 3 in movie theaters, and I just stared at the corner of the theater. Just
Well, that's because that movie sucked.
yeah,
movie
and so
does
does
suck.
this Rin thing. Doesn't sound that great.
This is kind of. It's kind of. I put it on sort of as a joke,
Mhm.
and Jen kind of looked at me like, "You have a problem," and I was like, "Look, I just want to see some fucking like big old Japanese cartoon tits flying around everywhere.
Fair
and this
enough.
probably will have them." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." And then it just kept getting worse, and we're like, "Okay, there's like some torture porn thrown in here."
Oh.
And I was just like, how bad can this get? So I watched like 3 episodes. It's pretty dumb. I just like watching bad things. I think they're cool.
I've
You
just been
do?
told
Bad
that
stuff is great.
You want to see how bad it can get?
I've just been told that the Insecticons might be in the new Transformers game. That makes me very happy. Just thought I'd say
Really?
that is
So that's classic Insecticons, or
Kind
just
of.
like some new things that are called
it's
Insecticons,
that the new the War for Cybertron sequel,
which is kind of like the
which
original.
is yeah. I mean, it's the best we'll get. And it was a really good game, the first one. But the Dinobots are in it and Insecticons are in it, which is awesome.
I like.
Yeah,
Yeah, that does sound good.
I like Grimlock.
Sure,
I like that
I like
he's
all
fucking
those guys.
He's fucking stupid.
But
he
they
keeps-
all are.
What if he went to community college? What if there was like a Transformers spin-off that was like Cybertron Community College, and it was just about Grimlock going to general ed classes, trying to learn.
Well, they're much more developmentally disabled than that. It's more like that's what it's like working at the day program I used to work at was just developmentally disabled adults, just like hanging out
Jonathan,
with Dinobots all day.
They're
Yeah.
robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Why
the
would you
same
make
thing.
a dumb dinosaur robot?
Why wouldn't I? I think it's pretty neat. They punch and bite.
But
You
who
know.
made Transformers? Who made the Dinobots, and why are they so stupid?
Who made the? That's a good
Because like
question.
it was the Primes, right? That was it. Like
There is a
guys-
Dinobot Prime. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
in the original cartoon, and I'm going totally off memory, they were made on Earth, and their dumbness was not deliberate. It was the result of a fuck up somewhere, I think.
By a human? Did a guy make
No, I
them?
think it was made by other like Transformers.
Is Baxter
Huh.
Stockman?
They did. Yes, it was
Fucking
Baxter
idiot.
Stockman.
You know what's weird is I read the original fucking Ninja Turtles comics, and originally Baxter Stockman, instead of being like Woody Allen with like a bow tie and like a part insect, he's like this black dude who invents the Mouser robots, and he has them go after the World Trade Center.
Oh yeah. I used to read those all the time. He was the black nerd comedy guy before the black nerd comedy guy was a guy.
Who?
You know that guy, Black Nerd Comedy? He's got a popular web page
Oh,
on the internet. Yeah.
On the information superhighway, log on to the website
oh wow.
for all you internet whiz kids out there.
He's a pretty funny guy. He's a nice guy. He does some video game reporting sometimes. But not really. Just whenever. And then Mass Effect 3's co-op
Oh.
stuff was announced, and the people went wild, didn't they?
Oh, they went wild with excitement. I mean, it's obviously something everyone's wanted. I think that's what. I think every review of every Mass Effect game ever has always said would be better with co-op. Therefore, I'm only going to give it 5 out of 10 because it's half a game. You go on Metacritic, 50% Metacritic average. No multiplayer. Like every summary down that list. IGN, 50, no multiplayer. GameSpot, 50, no multiplayer. I do believe that Eurogamer at one point said, no multiplayer, also no online pass. WTF? 40.
They wanted the online pass.
Yeah.
They wanted it.
40% for that because they were like, it's not a game if I'm not putting in a 25-digit passcode on fucking Xbox's laggy fucking input system with a fucking controller. Where's the fun game experience in that? In fact, why don't we just go back to the Commodore 64 days and put fucking cassettes in and let them load for half an hour? Jesus fucking arse.
I did like typing in load quotes, star quotes, comma 8, comma 1. I did enjoy that.
It was always fun because when the thing would load, you'd see the loading screen would have to slowly draw itself, and then you'd hear.
Yeah, sometimes rainbows would come on the screen. Rainbows.
Oh yeah, there's like all different Technicolor images. Sometimes those like bleeps and bloops and the screeching of the machine would sound quite. My friend Leo pointed out it's quite melodic. Could be could make a CD and put it on iTunes. Put a CD on iTunes, and people will buy it. Sounds of the Spectrum.
So, some people, in all seriousness, from what I know, don't like the idea of multiplayer in Mass Effect 3. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
I think that's just because they expect that it'll get fucked up.
Yeah, they're expecting the worst for some reason.
Mass Effect, I like Mass Effect all right. I don't quite understand how it's so popular. I think it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. Like, I like it. I mean, I'm just trying to fend off anyone who gets mad at me for saying I don't get why it's so popular. But I mean, it's it's an RPG. And the whole action part of it is all the action parts of it. It feels sort of like they kind of like they took the boring parts from like a turn-based RPG and made them a little bit more gamey.
The Mass Effect 1 or 2? Because 2 is
I've only played
a lot
2.
more just shooting. Yeah.
Right,
First one's more RPG-ish.
Okay.
People want to
But
be
still,
in a sci-fi land with aliens and sex and drama and a problem to be solved by a hero who is the chosen one.
I should just point out that I'm kind of with Max, except where he says he kind of likes the game and he wants to fend off people because he doesn't quite get how it's popular. I think anyone who even vaguely enjoys the game is a functionally retarded rapist. And I just say that just so I don't upset anyone. Just so I don't upset anyone. A fun rapist, A
fun rapist?
I did fucking have sex with my space secretary. I totally did.
There you go.
People want to have sex and save the world and meet a frog guy and feel important and have a drama. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's like multiplayer is being shoved into everything now. That's pretty obvious. We have games that never needed it, like Dead Space and Metro 2033, bringing it out. And I think it just seems kind of fitting that a lot of the ones that are putting these multiplayer things into games that don't need them are THQ and EA, Ubisoft, these kinds of companies that are at the forefront of the online pass thing. And to me, a lot of people are trying to justify this multiplayer to me by saying, well, they had the Cerberus network in Mass Effect 2 where, you put in a code and you got lots of free DLC, which I think is a bit different, especially when it just looks like that won't be in this one. Like, it takes a lot less effort to just sell you the DLC, individually, because then you make more money and still have an online pass, but this time for some shitty little multiplayer mode that they've contrived and pulled out their ass. So I'm guessing it's going to be that. Time will tell. But
you know what? I'll say this. I'll say this about the multiplayer in Mass Effect is at least it's like a new thing that you can kind of say in like one word. Like that's what's new in the game.
Right.
Because I have people
Connect support too.
Is Connect support?
Yeah, you can tell a guy.
That's right. I heard about that.
The final solution was a new thing for Germany.
Okay. Well, anyway, what I was saying is I hate with these threequels when people are like, "How is the new one?" And I'm like, "Well, did you play the first two?
Right.
Well, follow that trajectory. Like you can kind of sort of figure out where it's going to go."
Yeah. I feel like they must know that the Mass Effect loyal are going to buy it no matter what, and they're going to want this game to grow the franchise's install base if they can. So the only way to do that is to add new features that maybe no one is going to care about. But if they don't try, then
I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's purely about this fucking online pass shit. I see no other reason for it. No one has ever asked for multiplayer in Mass Effect. They're doing it to justify that fucking lockdown on the used game shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people want multiplayer and everything now before even online passes. They're not as vocal as most of the people on Destructoid, but there's a large contingent of gamers who are like, oh, well, if you can't play it online, then I should just rent it.
But they never do. They never play it. It's like, I've looked at games that have online in, that never needed it. Dark Sector and Overlord. It's like, they're not playing these. They go straight back to Halo and Call of Duty. It's like, you've got your multiplayer game. You're only ever going to just play Halo and Call of Duty over and over again. You don't need multiplayer in everything because you don't have time for multiplayer in everything. You're still trying to get your prestige rank in Call of Duty. Play that, you greedy little bastard!
That's
Let me
logic.
play my single player game on my own.
That is good logic.
They should
but
just sell it as fucking expansion packs. Like, if there's a demand for that, figure that shit out. Don't waste the money of making the game good. It's just stupid. And
absolutely, I'd love it if the game came out.
I mean,
like,
you guys haven't even seen it yet, though. You
it's
don't know
fucking. It looks retarded. It looks like a shitty fucking game.
Whoa.
Mass Effect 2 is great. Mass Effect 3 looks like fucking garbage. Not really. It looks about the same.
It's pretty much the same game, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I played it for fucking 10 minutes. I shot a robot and I got to stab some motherfuckers with my lightsaber. And it's like, people are mad at me from the PAX video because I didn't like go into enough detail. And it's like, motherfucker, it's like a long goddamn game. Like, it's.
Well, they're just jealous of you. I mean,
yeah.
Of course, they're just going to get mad because you got to play it and they didn't. So you played it wrong. You should have done better.
You little shits. I'm going to go play fucking Skyrim for fucking 3 hours, you cocksuckers.
When are you doing that?
I should.
Don't even preview it properly. Just tell him about the fish again.
I'm fucking gonna. I'm gonna. No, that's the thing is, I get all this shit because people are like, "Oh, he doesn't know anything about Elder Scrolls," and I'm like. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, your mom's a little few years older than me, but I still want to fuck her. What's your point? Like,
yeah, just talk about that instead.
What does that have anything to do with anything?
Fuck you, Sarah. I'm gonna talk about the fish some more. No, it's just I hate that. You know, I haven't played Morrowind. I haven't played like Oblivion. It's the 5th fucking Elder Scrolls game. They've made some other ones. I haven't played those. I played like a little bit. I've played other open world RPGs like that. Skyrim looks fucking good. It looks like a good game. I'm excited about this game as a game, not as a sequel. Like,
yeah, then that's what they want you to be excited about. Like I was saying, they don't care that much about what. So then, yeah.
You want me to be excited about this addition to the Elder Scrolls franchise, and I'm no,
the fans do, but the developers are like, this guy didn't really care that much about our past games, but they're excited about this game. We've done our jobs right. They want to please the old fans, but draw in as many new fans as they can. So they're going to be happy that you don't care.
But the thing is,
yeah,
Bethesda have never had to hide behind fucking shitty tacked on multiplayer modes to do it. So fair play to them.
I thought Skyrim had multiplayer. No.
That is a proper game. And I say this as someone who likes multiplayer modes, but at the same time, I don't have enough mental brain space to dedicate myself to like 30 different online careers. Like when you pick an online game, most people pick an online game, one, because that's about all the time you've got. Like when you're trying to get 50 ranks in Call of Duty, you haven't got time to then like dedicate to Metro or Dead Space. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
there doesn't need to be that many multiplayer games. And I say this as someone who likes it, but as someone who also appreciates that there's a market for single player games that do well, because if they didn't, we wouldn't have LA Noire being one of the biggest selling IPs of the year. We wouldn't have had BioShock being the 3rd best-selling game in 2007. We wouldn't have fucking just some others. I had them all in my head and they just went. But you know what I mean?
You sure? Yeah, you don't talk enough about Wii games, Jim.
There's plenty of... What?
Talk about all those Wii games that sold all that stuff without any multiplayer.
Oh, God.
Come on.
Yo,
talk about them,
That new Zelda looks like fucking awesome.
Yeah, Zelda's going to be good. That's probably going to do well.
I fucking actually want to go to get a goddamn Wii for that. Oh,
Yeah.
guess what? Funny story, guys. I forgot to tell. This is a really exciting thing. I fucking got a real TV that I can see things on.
Oh wow!
Oh, cool. It's got a
fucking
picture.
it's so exciting. It's
How-
so fucking exciting.
How many definitions has it got?
It's
Yeah.
got like 100.
Wow.
It's fucking definition as high as a kite. It's retarded. No, it's like getting LASIK. Like I just can suddenly see shit. Like I haven't even played any games on it. I played Deus Ex for like 10 minutes. I've mostly just been going on Netflix and reading the descriptions because I finally can. Holy shit, I can understand what this is about. But yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna hook up my NES and play some Ghosts and Goblins because I can't afford Dark Souls right now.
It's a pretty similar experience, I think.
I know.
I have to go away for a second. I'll be right back. Miss me.
off.
I'll be back soon.
Fuck you. I was looking through Skyrim. Jim, you saw those motherfucking Skyrim screenshots, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to go through and I want to add speech bubbles, just appropriately place speech bubbles that just say "fuck you" in impact font all over all of them because it pretty
What?
much works for every single one of them.
Yeah.
Back
Pretty
already.
much.
Yeah.
Hello, Jonathan.
Oh, hi.
Jonathan,
Yes, Jim?
we talked about Skyrim.
Uh-huh.
And we talked about aliens.
Uh-huh.
Aliens.
But
Halio.
we didn't talk about what you have played this week.
I have played Radio Allergy 2 on the Nintendo Wii.
What, you made that up?
Nope, Japanese only, shoot 'em up.
Oh, okay,
I
now,
really-
yeah, it all makes sense now.
I enjoy it a lot. It cost me $10 when I was in Tokyo last year. I barely got to play it, so I decided to suddenly play it, and I loved it. It's really funny and fun. And I played something on the PlayStation 3 there. Oh yeah, Child of Eden. I tried. Did you saw the Talking to Women About Video Games with the Accordion Lady?
Yeah.
One? Yeah.
What?
After that, we went back to my video editor's place and started uploading the footage, and I showed them Child of Eden. And it was like 2 minutes. Both my my video producer and the woman with the accordion were like, "This shit sucks." They really hated Child of Eden. They thought it was idiotic and pretentious and long-winded and stupid and boring. They hated it a lot, which I was surprised by because a lot of people love that game. They hated it. And I got Portal 2. I finally got around to buying that. Yeah, it's a good game there. Played it.
I didn't know you liked military shooters, Holmes.
I don't really. I like military.
First-person shooter.
Oh, Portal 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like the game.
Play Portal. I play Richtal. Richtal 3 is my favorite game I've been playing.
You know what game I liked that was like an action movie was the Die Hard games on the Sega Saturn and the Dreamcast. Where you play like a pseudo John McClane and there's a big bearded cyborg who's like, "I'm taking over this town." And you gotta just beat them all up.
I only ever played the light gun game that was on the PS1.
Oh, I never played that. What was that like?
It was okay. You shot people in an airport.
Yeah, it
No
sounds
Russian.
okay. No, these games they wanted to get the Die Hard license, but they didn't, so then they last minute, which makes it
It
even
was
further.
called The Hard.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Die Hard. I heard you gotta kill cops in Battlefield 3 or something.
Yes, apparently there is a level where you have to kill like cops in France, and Eurogamer asked EA about it, and they were like, "Why you got to kill cops?" And someone from EA got back to them and said, "You don't understand the gravity of the situation. There's a oh no, that was it. For God's sake, there's a nuke in Paris." Which is
That is pretty much the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't fault them on it. They're
No.
acting as though. I mean, if you act as though killing virtual fake cops in a video game is as serious as killing real cops, then by proxy, that fictional nuke, is just as serious, and you have to.
Well, it would have been very easy for them to do the usual thing of, wanted to try and tell a story, wanted to talk about the messages and push the boundaries in the vid. Instead, it's like, there's a nuke in Paris, for fuck's sake! Go! Kill everyone! Save the world! Damn it!
Yeah, it's meeting them right where they're at. That nuke is just as important as those cops.
What is that noise? Who's playing with sellotape?
Nothing.
Not
not
I.
me. Not me. And my cat was rubbing something. My little cat.
My little cat.
I do like cats.
My little
It's kind of
kitty
weird. Yeah, I like them.
What are you guys doing?
kitty cat.
Hey, can we do some questions? Because I should probably start
yeah,
getting out
yeah.
of here soon.
All right. Well,
I gotta go play Skyrim.
I did want to ask if Tara had anything she wanted to talk about.
I played The Darkness 2 this week, which was really awesome. I actually can't believe that we hadn't covered it really before, like preview wise.
They haven't done a lot to give us to cover for it. They've been quite quiet about it.
Well, I know they had some demo at E3, and then they had one at PAX, which we did a video for, but there was really no written coverage at all. So I guess this is the first preview that we did. Mine just went up this morning, so go check it out if you're interested in that game. It looks really cool, actually. There's quad wielding. And,
how does that work?
Skill tree. Basically, you control your like demon arms with the left and right bumpers, and one of them grabs things and the other one like slashes them, and then you dual wield with the left and right triggers. You've got pistols and stuff. And they've
So
added
it's
quite a few
at that point it's just
to the
all.
games. There's skill tree. It's sorry.
Oh, that's okay. What were you saying? They added some RPG elements to the game.
I mean, yeah, they added a skill tree, so there's all sorts of crazy like finishing moves you can do now. They've really kind of tightened things up a little bit, and this is definitely on my list of anticipated games for next year now.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Nice. It's looking good. I actually need to. I haven't been able to track down a copy of the first one in stores.
really?
I need to get it because I played the demo of the first one and it looked pretty good. But this second one looks great, and I don't want to touch
Yeah.
I've got a thing. I don't like. I'll do it if I need to, but I don't really like jumping into sequels before I play the last ones because I'm not like an ignorant Elder Scrolls twat like Max. No,
You.
you don't know nothing about the Elder Scrolls, man.
Well, the story is also a pretty big part of the game. So
Yeah.
it's
Are you
about-
playing as the same guy as
Yeah.
the first one? Oh, okay.
Even if it's a game that has no story, like I'll get upset if I've got to play something like Time Crisis and I haven't played. I can't follow the story. Who's the terrorist? It's a pedantic thing.
the first game is the one where you could sit down and watch the entirety of To Kill a Mockingbird
Yeah, that's
in
right.
the actual game.
Then you get an achievement
Really?
for that as well.
Yep.
I think so.
Are you
Yeah.
wait? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's pretty neat. They had
Yeah,
some
pretty
creative ideas. They really tried to characterize gross, stupid people in an accurate way in that game. So I'll give them kudos for that.
Fair play to him. Fair play to him.
What?
Yeah, I think
I
I
said
have
fair play to
Hamza's
him.
copy, but Kara and I broke it for no reason.
What'd you break?
What?
We're like, oh yeah, the Darkness. We had Hamza's copy of the Darkness, but we broke
Oh.
it.
Oh, I bought it at GameStop. You can
Oh.
get
Can I
it
have my
used
copy
for
of Saints
$7
Row
or something. Yeah,
Huh.
you can.
I
Wanna
should
see
go
what it
buy
looks
that.
like.
I believe you can go into GameStop and just like play a song on a lute, and they will give it to you. It's that cheap now used.
yeah, games are
Yeah,
getting perch shape.
Just tell them a tale of an adventurous bard who slew a dragon, and if they're entertained enough to take their mind off the troubles and the harrowing winters ahead, then they'll give you that, a flagon of ale, and some skins for your to warm your hide and make a new loincloth and jerkin. For
Jerkin?
Yeah, I confused GameStop with medieval fantasy again. It happens. I always get the two mixed up.
I just thought of, speaking of medieval fantasy, did you know that Dragon Quest X will be potentially you'll have to be online in order to play it?
Oh god,
But
that
the,
again.
but the new Wii that is coming out has no Wi-Fi at all. It could be the dumbest thing I've seen happen in Nintendo World in a few
This
months. Yeah, this whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shocker. I mean, clearly Nintendo just wants to make more profit off of each Wii they sell, so they're churning out Wiis with less guts.
Yeah.
They're just crappier Wiis. It's not like, oh, the new Wii, it's great. So no, it lacks GameCube backwards compatibility, and it lacks online.
Yeah.
And yet their biggest game for next year is, I think you have to log on, even if you're not playing with anyone else online, you just kind of have to be online in order to play it.
Yeah,
for
it's
some
like
reason.
constant connectivity.
Yeah, I hope that they take that back. 'cause
Nintendo's a
that's-
bit of a cunt when you think about it.
I've never heard anyone say anything like that before, Jim.
I just say
think
when
that
you,
may-
I mean, I know I'm sort of thinking out the box here, but when you really look at it, I got a card from Nintendo today.
You did?
I received a greetings card. It says "Happy National Fossil Day," and it's got images and logos for the game Fossil Fighters Champions.
Oh yeah, that's the new Fossil Fighters coming out.
Yeah, Tara, stop playing around on your desk.
Sorry.
I can see when I hear that noise, I can see your name flashing up on the Skype. And if you're chewing gum, I hope you brought enough for the whole class.
No, I'm not chewing gum.
Wow.
Sorry, sir.
Neither
Yeah.
am I. No, neither of us are.
Uh,
Yeah, it's they can. It's Square Enix though. They're the ones who made the boneheaded move to make their game always
Speaking
online.
of
There's some-
boneheaded,
Yes.
it's National Fossil Day today. Did you know that? Nintendo told me. It says in the card, "Hope you're digging," and that's in quotes so that you know it's clever. Hope you're digging.
Hope you're digging our archaeology
Yeah,
punt
nah.
that we've made.
National Fossil Day, and it says celebrate and honor fossil fighters champions for Nintendo DS, available November 14th.
Hey, man,
Oh, that's soon.
geography is where it's at.
Yeah.
So do they
but this-
think?
Well,
What do they think we're like?
this ties
that-
in with what you were saying, Jonathan.
Yes.
It's where I'm getting to.
Uh-huh.
Because when I tweeted this, I had about 20 people say, how ironic, Nintendo celebrating National Fossil Day.
Because they're old.
Oh, hey guys,
Ah.
you know that part in Bad Santa where where Thurman Merman, the weird fat kid, he makes the wooden pickle for Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep.
He goes up to him and he's like, "I made you this, Santa." "What is it, kid?" And it's like, "It's a pickle. It's a wooden pickle." "Why is it red?" "'Cause I bled all over it." That's what Nintendo does. That's like Nintendo's entire business model.
Absolutely.
They make a
Who made you
wooden
this
pickle
thing?
and bleed all
Why?
over. It's
It's like
amazing
kinda
though
s-
because it's working though, right? I mean, they're not losing, they're not dying money wise. So whatever they're doing, still making money, dog. I don't know, it's
They're
weird.
basically Lex Luthor at this point, and we are all Superman. It's like, we know how fucked up they are, but they still continue to make money and sit there, bald, thinking, ha ha ha, you can't touch me, Soups. Which is a short name for Superman.
Yeah, he calls them that sometimes. Yeah, that's true.
Sorry, just dropping my DC knowledge on you.
Oh, I enjoyed that. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're reading those
Guys,
DC
I heard
comics?
that the Joker might die in Arkham City.
I am not legally allowed to say anything about Arkham City,
I heard
Oh,
that Batman might die too.
the
And I-
game that I beat this week.
I heard that the Joker
Whoa!
might die in Superman 64.
Uh,
Arkham City gets it too.
So
um,
they're saying they can't make a good Superman game. Rocksteady, the people who made the good Batman game, they're like, we couldn't make a good Superman game though because Superman, nah, he sucks.
Do you know about
you kind of can't because, like, Batman, even though he's awesome, there's vulnerability to him. Like,
Mhm,
it's believable that he could get the shit kicked out of him by enough people.
mhm.
Whereas Superman, it's that whole problem of his. It's like the Bible. Like, you read the Bible, and there's no drama in there because it's like, well, God can just click his fingers and the devil will fall over, like, really embarrassingly, and everyone will point at him and go, "Stupid devil, you're a twat." And it's like, there's no. You read the devil bits in the Bible thinking they're going to be awesome and it will be like Legend and he'll be like Tim Curry going, boy! And he's not. He's presented as a goof, as a harmless stooge, existing only to make Jesus look good. And there's no tension in that. The Bible's like, no
What the
offense
fuck
to
did-
anyone who likes the Bible, but it's badly written. You need
They
to get
start, like,
Quentin
every
Tarantino up in that
every
shit.
fucking sentence in that book is starting with "and." And they went and did this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was good.
It's like a 7-year-old telling you what he did at school.
You show it, you don't tell it. Show,
But all that
not
stuff,
tell.
that stuff happened though.
You don't start a fucking sentence with "and." I mean, it's like a James Frey book, really. It's just the grammar. And
James Frey, is that the guy who's saying beautiful?
No, he's the guy
No,
who wrote
that's James
Little
Blunt.
Pieces.
Oh, I mix up my phrase and
He
blunts.
was like,
Did you know-
right, really shitty Zanga. Wait, Zanga. That's the old one.
Did you
Zanga.
know that Jesus once raised the devil in an occult ceremony?
No, I didn't know that.
It's in one of those pages that have been not put in the Bible. One of those ones that
The El
one of those
Shaddai
ones
pages.
that a priest somewhere just decided that bit's not real. I'll take that out.
Isn't there a
Okay.
part where he when he was a teenager, didn't he just kill a guy for no reason, by accident?
He did something where he let someone die. I know that
Yeah.
much. It was like
Hmm.
it was basically just fuck you. I'm Jesus.
Yeah.
To get back to the original point,
Hey, I'm telling you about the time he
I
raised
think-
the devil. A bunch of people were like, "Oi, Jesus, show us the devil." And Jesus was like, "Nah, nigga, I ain't showing you no devil." That's how he talks. He's very straight. And they're like, "You fooling Jesus, show us the devil." And he did. He brought him up. And I guess they don't show it because it's a very different devil that's as presented in I guess the director's cut. Or sorry, the theatrical version rather. And the devil comes out clasped in irons, as if he's just sort of another prisoner of hell. And it's an interesting story.
That happened in one of my Daredevil comics where they go with Doctor Strange and I think Mephisto's there, and he's like, "I can't see you, but I know you're there."
Oh.
Daredevil.
Daredevil or Doctor Strange? What?
Daredevil. They go together. It's stupid.
They do hang out. I think they're both
Yeah.
in the Defenders at one point.
Yeah. It
But
wasn't a village.
I was I was going to say that, as you all know, DC Comics relaunched 52 of their titles over the past couple of months. You've been thinking about it all night, Max Scoville. What's going to happen in Swamp Thing? You've been thinking about it. You can't stop
You know
wondering.
what's going to happen? You know what's going
What?
to happen in the next Starfire is I'm going to fucking jerk off to that comic. That's what's going to happen.
That comics actually caused quite a bit of controversy because
Yeah,
she's
because she just goes around
so...
fucking having sex with people.
And she just it doesn't stand like a normal human being. She's always got her butt sticking as far
Yeah.
out as possible.
Because
She doesn't
she's
know
from
how to...
space. She's from fucking space. It's
where
like
their butts are out.
that's fucking stupid. I
She's
hate how
rocking the space butt.
these fucking
Yeah, Jim.
these fucking ladies, they get all upset when there's a girl who's a girl alien and she just wants to go around having sex with boys and standing all sexy but when there's a boy alien and he's just flying around fucking putting out fires and fighting aliens and saving the day. How do you know that Superman doesn't want to have a bunch of casual sex, but he feels pressured to do something else?
It's pretty racist as well. She's an alien girl. It's she shouldn't conform to your standards. She's an alien, you racist, if she wants to have sex with everything.
God, there's just so much sexism right now
Against
in
aliens?
my apartment.
Against who? You? Or what?
I'm just I don't.
Don't try to rationalize
It's
it.
just
man.
true. It's just what happened.
After playing Arkham City, though, I want to get into some more comics because I never did because they're so confusing and there's so many
I can write you some
reboots.
recommendations, Jim. I'll give you some.
Yeah, I'll take some. I like the Scarecrow,
I was
Okay.
so close
And
to telling you
you
guys
knew that.
something.
and
Oh.
I'm actually getting into the. Hold on a second, I'm talking about comics.
I was so close. I was the one who brought it up, and I was going to tell you something.
What do you want to tell us?
It's not going to take very long.
Okay,
I promise.
No,
Yeah, just
what do
a few seconds.
you?
The point I was going to make, yes, is that those Batman guys, Rocksteady, said that Superman, nope, he's no good. They just relaunched Superman.
Well,
and-
I've heard that Bebop might want to make a Superman game.
My point was that
should we do with the titles, boss?
Let's make a Superman game.
I was this close. Superman relaunched by Grant Morrison.
Daddy Bebop.
Shredder,
left an egg McMuffin on the console.
Superman relaunched.
Bebop and Rocksteady, I have to send you back to Dimension X.
Superman was relaunched by Grant Morrison, who's a good comics writer. Sometimes he screws up really bad.
Ago?
What?
Didn't he?
No, he did it like 2 months ago, and he did really good. Huh?
What about fucking All-Star Batman?
Yeah, he did that a while back, but he relaunched Superman with Action Comics, and it's more like what if Superman was crossed with Spider-Man. He can't fly, he can jump, like how he did in the original newspaper strip. So, he can jump over a tall building in a single bound, but he gets beat up, he gets gassed, he gets his ass kicked. They put him in the electric chair in issue 2, and he takes a beating, and it's really good.
You see, that's the problem with Superman as he's been sort of popularized. There isn't tension there because he's fucking invincible.
No, it's tense. Trust me.
That's what I'm saying. No, it sounds
now it's tense.
Yeah,
guys,
what you said sounds good.
Guys, I gotta
check
go.
it out.
I was gonna say a thing. I was gonna say a thing about I think Superman in video games is sort of like Atuk, the never-made movie about the Eskimo. Which is actually, it kills people. It's a cursed screenplay that's been floating around Hollywood. You can look this up. It's on the internet. At one point or another, John Belushi, Sam Kinison, John Candy, and Chris Farley were all going to be involved in this.
Oh, what a
character!
And then they died before they could.
They died. It's a fucking haunted.
Wait a minute.
It's a haunted Eskimo screenplay.
Fat actors, some of which were on drugs, mysteriously died.
Yeah, because it's a haunted screenplay.
Yeah,
that's what killed them. It was the ghosts, not the coke and T-bone steaks.
Fuck no, man. Those things counteract each other. You're cool.
That's
just Atkins.
It's cursed, Jim.
Yeah,
it's a cursed Eskimo
I don't
screenplay.
get you.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll volunteer for the role next, and then we'll see what when I'm
do
dead.
that. I'm not going to let you. If anyone should be playing an Eskimo, it's Jonathan Holmes, obviously.
I am.
Guys, I have to go.
Bye, Max.
I have to go play
It's great having you on the show. I hope you enjoy it.
Jonathan Holmes is a Nazi Eskimo.
Are you really part Eskimo, Holmes?
I might be.
I've been telling people you're Afro-Norwegian.
Keep telling them that.
Just for
I say
funsies.
space Eskimo most of the time. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have fun with the questions. My favorite part of the show that I'm never here for because I always have to go play cool video games or buy shelves. Goodbye.
Right,
hard life.
Doesn't even deserve to play Skyrim because he doesn't do it with the Elder Scrolls.
Man, what are the Elder Scrolls? Are they just some words or something?
They're just something that exists so that Bethesda can sue Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, they're still doing that, right?
Yeah, that is what happens on the internet. Bethesda is suing Minecraft, guys. Oh, God. Oh, dear.
How dumbest.
Yeah, it's not their fault. I mean, it's the fucking fucked up legal system that means they've got to do it, otherwise they'll lose their rights in the future. It's a weird thing. It's like...
Just the word scrolls, though? Can't they just say, well, since you're not saying Elder Scrolls, we won't get mad at you?
I think they have to pursue it as a matter of... They've got to pursue it just to make sure that, someone doesn't come out later with the elbow scrolls, and then they try and stop them, and they're like, well, you let this other game go, there's a legal precedent there.
I don't know.
It's a fucked up situation of covering tracks and laying safety nets.
But who told them that you have to do that was the lawyers who are getting paid.
It's the law, dude. It's
that's what the lawyers tell you.
You have a legal requirement to protect your trademarks. The Doodle Jump guy did it as well. Like he's issued cease and desists to anyone on the iTunes store with a game that had Doodle in the name. Not really because he wanted to, but because he had to. So that when someone does come out with like Doodle Pump, he can protect Doodle Jump. It's a fucked up system, and it is one that benefits the lawyers. You're absolutely right, but it's got to be done. They have an obligation to protect their trademark against.
You have to. It's required. You said. Interesting. I didn't know it. I didn't know that. Yeah. Should we do the questions there?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do them.
D5 Gravity, who's been sending a lot of tips into Destructoid.
Yeah. He told me I was his mentor a few times. It was quite flattering. I'm not worthy to be his mentor, and he doesn't. I don't think he must like me, I guess. Anyway, yeah. What did he want to know?
He actually separated Max. He just asked Max to say something funny. But he's gone now. Yeah, he did his job. Tara Holmes and Jim, he says, what do you think of the price debate? Should a game be reviewed with price in mind? If not, why? Some gamers can't justify paying €70 for a new game unless it's really amazing.
I definitely think price should be taken into consideration with reviews, and I figured everybody kind of did that. Obviously, you're not going to evaluate a downloadable, $10 title the same you would as a $60 AAA.
Yeah, some
Sure.
people are against it. I've seen reviewers debate it in the past, and there are people that are like, oh no, it should never because the reviews will be obsolete after a week or two when the price goes down, or they're like, a good game is a good game no matter how much it costs. But at the same time, it's like Angry Birds is good, but it's $1. I would never pay $60 for Angry Birds as much as it's a good game,
Yeah. I think
value-
it's similar to graphics in that, a DS game may look worse in a way than a PS3 game, but I'm going to compare the DS game to other DS games and value its graphics
it's
at that point.
definitely a relative thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think price should be the ultimate deciding factor in a review, but you should consider it. It's,
Sure.
when I reviewed Alpha Protocol, I was furious that they wanted to charge $60 for that game. It was like, even at a budget price of $20, this is asking too much. This
Mhm.
game is a broken, buggy, nastily developed, awfully designed piece of shit. And to charge, when I think of a game, especially like the recent one, X-Men Destiny, that Silicon Knights shat out to make a bit of money in time for Christmas. To charge $60 for a game so lazily produced, so utterly, unforgivably lazy, is disgusting to me. Maybe for $15, though, as a digital download on XBLA, it might have been a bit more forgivable. But you put that on a store shelf for $60 and you have the goal to place it next to something like Uncharted or Gears of War or any other game that's been A, finished, B, made to give a shit, and C, even vaguely good. And it's just a case of how dare you. So I think it definitely, their intention for what the game is, the price point they set, tells me what they think the game deserves. And therefore, it obviously influences what I think they then deserve as a review score. Because you put out a game for $60, you automatically tell me what your expectations are. You tell me for $60 you can hang with the likes of Uncharted or I guess Halo or these big games, these quality games. You can put X-Men fucking Destiny next to Batman Arkham City for the same price, and you are telling me your game deserves as much money as Batman Arkham City, and I would have to say, how dare you? How dare you? Like, it's
But the prices aren't usually set by the developers; they're set by the publishers, right? Sometimes not even that. Like, if you have downloadable titles, those prices are all set by Microsoft.
The thing is the developers will know. The developers know that they're making a game that's $60, and it's like, make it fucking worth it. Again, I mean, I don't know if either of you have played. I'm guessing not X-Men Destiny, but
No,
that game is not worth $20, and they knew how much it would cost. They knew what they were making. They knew what the expectation should have been. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely People ask me why I'm harsh with reviews. It's because of this. It's because when you give me a game that's shit and you expect people to pay $60 for it, you are robbing them. And it is not fair, and it is not cool at all. Take your 2 out of 10 score. Fucking carve it out of potato skins, cook the potato skins so that they get really hard and sharp, and then cut into your dick helmet with them.
What's a dick helmet?
The end of your knob.
Oh, the penis.
The purple bit.
Right. Yes.
How dare you? Silicon Knights.
Well, hopefully, I would assume that if a lot of people don't buy it, then the price will go down.
I hope not. But the thing is, it's got the X-Men name on it. Those fucking lazy hacks knew they could shit out any old garbage, and you'd get purchases from Marvel fans. And the fact that because I saw a commercial on TV, it is selling one bad and one mediocre game in the same commercial, both by Activision, the X-Men Destiny and Spider-Man Edge of Time. And they're advertising them as, buy for the holidays. And I'm like, you deliberately did this. You rushed these 2 fucking games out to hit the holiday season just to sell them to kids. And I find that a disgusting practice. It's grotesque.
I would imagine it was. I can't help but think that the people making the game wanted the game to be good. I mean, nobody likes dedicating a year of their life to doing something that sucks and they're ashamed of. But the publishers probably said, "Yep, it's good enough to ship. Send it out." And they're like,
I don't know. I mean,
fuck.
I would like to think that all developers are in it for the love, but sometimes I think they are. Like, you take on a job like X-Men, there's a mercenary feel to it, you know? It's like, yeah, we want a game for X-Men out by the holidays, just something cobbled together to make, you know, a bit of cheap money. And there's a mercenary feel to a game like that. Like, and I know there are developers that do it. Some of them don't make games out of visionary love, or they make games to fund something later. That's made out of visionary love. I know that
they loved X-Men. They might have been like, "Oh, I get to make an X-Men game! Hooray! I'll make up a little Japanese schoolgirl." They might have thought that.
I mean, I think you've got a very high opinion of the human race.
I kind of do.
A lot more optimistic about people than I am, but having played the game, it just feels very mercenary. Like they knew what it was and they knew what they were doing. And, you know, maybe they're putting the money into something else, but that doesn't change what they're selling right now. And
but then the game based on the Wolverine movie was actually pretty fun, right?
Yeah, that was
things like that.
That was made by Raven, though, and Raven have a habit of making very solid games that nobody gives a shit about. I love Raven. They are what I call like a pure thoroughbred middle shelf developer. They make these games that aren't AAA, but they aren't like budgety shit. They're just right there in the middle. Most people glossing over them. They did Wolverine Origins. They did the newer Wolfenstein, and they did Singularity, which I thought was fucking superb. But you know, they sit there in the middle of the shelf, you know. Nobody really buying them. They reissued Singularity actually and put a Destructoid sticker on it.
I didn't know that.
Not a Destructoid logo, I should say, but like a sticker with a quote on it saying how good it was.
Oh, that's nice.
Totally stand by it. That's a superb game, but nobody bought it.
That's a shame. Maybe, you know, I always wonder when these games are going to have their time, you know, whether they may come back at some point down the line as downloadable titles, or after they get a sequel that hits, then everyone goes back and plays the first one. It happens quite a bit. I hope it happens for that game.
Yeah. Oh, well.
What's the next question?
Nick128, Tara Long, who's the sexiest guy at Detoid?
Oh, that's such a hard question.
I know, that's why I asked.
Jonathan Holmes, of course.
Oh, that's not true. Thank you.
No, it's true.
Oh, thanks.
Maybe you were Dale.
Yeah, I'm the hottest. Me or Dale's pretty hot, dude.
I can't think of many of the men's staffers off the top of my head.
I don't know how Dale stays so fit.
I don't think he eats very much. He looks incredibly thin last time I saw him.
The guy is a fucking gourmand. He knows his food. He is a food champion. I think what he does is he sings the fat off.
Does burn a lot of calories.
We all know the guy's a phenomenal singer. He sings the fat off. Like he eats, and at the end of a day, he looks like Ursula from Little Mermaid, and then he just starts singing, and within half an hour, he's back to his svelte self.
I'd like to witness that. I hope that's true. Yeah.
He's physically terrifying in that regard.
I miss that guy. I hope to see him again sometime.
He is a good man. Good man.
He's always working, though. You never get to talk to him. He's always busy. Yeah. Indeed.
To man says, favorite non-gaming website?
That's tough. I don't read a lot of non-gaming websites. I check Ain't It Cool News sometimes for movie news and Flixist. I'll check them out.
I read a lot of Reddit, even though I don't really like it. Read some Hacker News, and I also am really into interior design. So I read Apartment Therapy, which is a good interior design blog.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
The Guardian UK has some good movie reviews sometimes and news.
They do good game content as well, actually. The Guardian are really clued in.
I haven't noticed that. I should check into that.
They're
That's all I
nice
got.
too. I've spoken to a couple of their writers before. They're nice people.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, every
Yeah,
once in a while it
that's
happens.
cool.
Yeah.
I like, and it's almost cheating because I do end up reading a lot of the video game pages on it, but I'm a big fan of TV tropes. I like,
That's a good one.
it's a fun site. It's one of those ones where, you start with one page and you've got 25 tabs open before you're done.
Mhm.
It's addictive stuff. It's fun. When I'm looking really busy on my phone, if you ever see me at an event and it looks like I'm really busy, I'm probably really bored just reading TV tropes. So,
I've never been to that website. I should go to that website.
oh, you should. It's good.
Mhm.
It's like Wikipedia, but it discusses all like the cliches and, well, not so much the cliches, more like the storytelling familiarities that you see in TV shows.
There's a trope
Patterns
for
and
everything.
trends.
Yeah, and it's got good stuff in there. Like, it's got a lot of video game dedicated ones as well. Like, and it covers everything you could think of in a video game.
Yeah, sounds educational. I should check it out.
Yeah, there's some fascinating stuff in there. What else have we got? Kofi says, since you guys seem to be surrounded by games 24/7, do you ever get tired of video games as a subject and or hobby? Or is this something impossible for video games, quote unquote, journalists?
I feel like
Had to throw that in.
I feel like the rate at which the industry expands is greater than the rate at which I can consume it. So no. Does that make sense? Like there's so
Oh, yeah,
many more
absolutely.
games out every single year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You never run
there's
out of
something-
things to talk about.
Right. Or games that you didn't know ever existed, you're finding out about,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, games that got canceled, that got brought back. There's always a story. I do get a little bit sick of sort of the social patterns in gamer culture.
Yeah.
I've heard some of the same stuff about the same games and the same complaints, and sometimes contradictory complaints. Like a lot of the people that are complaining that Mass Effect is going to have co-op are the same people that complain that other games that'll remain nameless did not have co-op, and it's just kind of like they want you developers to cater only exactly to whatever their particular preference at the particular moment is, and if not, it's like a holy war against them. That gets
Yeah.
a little exhausting. I mean, if you have an opinion and you want to give a perspective and give a point, that's great. I never get sick of that. But when you sense that people are just wanting to jump on the bandwagon in order to feel a part of like a mass burning of a company, or what is it when they grab the torches and the pitchforks? Porches and the pitchforks. What do they call that?
Mob,
Hanging. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Lynching. Well, I'm talking about good old-fashioned lynching. When you
Okay.
feel that internet lynching coming on, like, oh, so-and-so did something wrong, everybody kill him. That makes me a little sad.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. It's like sometimes gamer culture can really tire me and I have to step away from it. But video games themselves, they're so varied and there's so much there that even if I get bored of a genre for a while, I can take a break from it and play a different type of game. There's so much, and the job as well is so varied and so amazing.
Yeah.
It's like every day, I'll see the FedEx guy drive past and I'll get excited because I don't know what's coming, if anything at all,
Sure.
And I don't know what kind of game is going to, whether it's good or bad. Like, I mean, that's always a gamble, and it's an exciting gamble. It's not one where, I think if you get tired of it, you're probably in the wrong line of work. I know there are some people out there that get really burnt out on video games, and it's like, well, go do something else. Some of these quote unquote journalists are like, I get the sense they would rather be writing about movies or music or something more respectable, and games
we've
they
talked
went
about
for
that.
as a low hanging fruit and they kind of don't like it.
There's nothing more depressing to me than that when people, when I'm at an industry event and the people I'm with clearly look down on me for being another video game journalist, and also kind of hate themselves and are like just waiting for that Entertainment Tonight gig. And
Yeah.
that's very,
Yeah.
very depressing.
I mean,
Yeah.
you get people
Do you
that
meet a lot of people like that though? I don't really.
Kind of. When I was at the Epic Mickey review event, there was a lot of people who were just like, "Oh, I wish I was reviewing a Disney movie, not this stupid video game. Oh, maybe someday, maybe I'll make a connection here at Disneyland and get an entertainment job." And I was like, "Oh God, your
I
life
don't know.
is
It seems
bad."
really unprofessional to say that at a video game event that's probably providing you with free food.
Well, they didn't say it to Disney, but they
Well,
certainly.
no, but I mean just to anybody.
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Much like psychiatrists, video game journalists don't always have a lot of, at least their conduct on the job. There's no one watching over them to make sure they're not being douchebags. They can just do whatever they want. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. You get some people that have been playing games for as long as they've been writing about them, and clearly they'll stop playing if they get to write about something else. You know, what can you do? What can you do?
Sure. What can you?
VG Freak 1225 says, with the announcement of Infinity Blade 2 came, and this is I found this interesting as well. With the announcement of Infinity Blade 2 came the release of Infinity Blade Awakening, a digital novel based on the game. I think that an entire novel based on a $6 iOS game is a potential premonition that the mobile market is really beginning to step into its own. What do you guys think? And do you see more mobile games becoming franchised more? Has this ever happened before?
Is it like free with purchase, or
I think
the novel?
You buy it. It's a digital. I don't think it costs very much, but I found that fascinating that Infinity Blade is getting a novel. I'm not really a big digital reader because I like my eyes. I'd love that on paper. I would buy that in a heartbeat on paper. But it's definitely happening. Like Angry Birds in my local supermarket, there's Angry Birds plush toys everywhere. I've got an Angry Birds shirt because it was vaguely game related and it fit over my tits, so I had to buy it. No matter what was on it. This whole franchising, these games are getting fucking big. You know, they're getting as recognizable as your big console titles, and I think that's generally a good thing. I think
as long as the games are good.
Yeah, as long as the games are good. Like, I love Infinity Blade, so... And the idea that a $6 iOS game is getting a novel, you know, that's amazing.
I'm a little more cynical, sadly. I'm remembering when Dead Space, the first one, which didn't sell terribly, but it didn't sell as well as EA expected, from what I remember. They really wanted to grow that brand, so they made the anime, and then the other anime, and then like the digital comic game. Do you remember that?
Well, I think the problem there is they didn't try and grow a brand. They tried to have like an oven-ready brand that was like instantly everywhere. The first game hadn't even come out, and you had comics and a movie and plans for novelizations and everything. And it was overload straight from the beginning. With Infinity Blade and Angry Birds, you know, they started off as games and then just got really, really popular, and now they're making them franchised as a response to the demand, whereas Dead Space, the demand wasn't there yet. So
they were trying to give the illusion that it was this big thing. Well, with Angry Birds, sure, that's definitely legit, but I didn't know Infinity Blade was that big of a seller. Did it sell pretty well?
Yeah. Infinity Blade was a huge success.
Oh, good for them. That's great. Well, in that case, I'm all happy about it. Bring that novel on. Let me read it. Put it in a bookstore so I can buy it. I want to read it tonight.
What a novel concept. Hey-o! You and I had to sigh after that one.
Yeah, the self-disgust always makes it great.
I'm taking over for Max now that he's gone.
You do know him pretty well, that Max. You see a lot of him.
We do spend quite a bit of time together.
Yeah, I wonder how well you could mimic him. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Technicolor Dewdrop said that an iTunes reviewer said Tara Long is a hermaphrodite?
Yes. Hey, I was going to bring that up.
I'm glad you were.
There is a really incredibly in-depth iTunes review that is relatively spot on in that it just goes into a whole lot of detail about each of our personality
Really?
I haven't read this.
I don't know if I want to read this.
Serious up until you get to the paragraph about me, because each of us has a separate paragraph. The
That's very
paragraph
nice.
about me is like, it's nice to see a hermaphrodite like doing this. Good for her. But then he randomly calls me him throughout the
Wow.
paragraph.
Wow. That could mean so many different things about his brain, assuming it's a guy who wrote it. Could be someone who wishes you were a hermaphrodite. It could be someone who's like, a girl who likes video games, she must be part boy. It could be someone who's trying to hurt your feelings.
It's very matter-of-factly. I think it's really great that a hermaphrodite is doing this.
Yeah, but it could be passive-aggressive. It could be a fantasy they have. Well, some dudes really, I don't know if you've seen that Futanari, I believe it's called. Brad Rice of Japanator and Destructoid fame. Back in the old days, Jim probably remember this, these email chains would just start in Destructoid that were just nothing but anime girls with like 5 to 6 foot long penises talking to each other. Hanging out.
There was some amazing things.
Yeah, people like girls with penises for some reason. They really think it's great.
Yeah, that's weird to me because the penis is the most unattractive part about a man.
People don't like the penis. No, it's a frowner. People frown when it's shown. And I've been told many a time by a woman, if I found out you liked penises a little bit, I would think you were gross. I'm like, oh, okay, because there's always this kind of double standard. Guys like lesbians, women not so much with gay dudes all the time. No.
Total turn off.
Yeah. But this one girl I dated in grad school was always trying to get me to make out with guys. I wouldn't do it. I thought it was weird.
Like?
She's like, if you and my ex-boyfriend Todd just kind of touch tongues for a second, just for a second, that would be pretty cool. I could watch that, and I could watch you do that with your tongue, and Todd's tongue.
That's gross.
Yeah. She's having a baby now.
Did you make out with Todd?
I did not.
Is he hot?
Tara Long is interesting in that she's a hermaphrodite. How many podcasts do you know that has a hermaphrodite in it? I think we both know the answer to that. I really don't know what else to say about Tara. He doesn't talk enough, and it really makes me mad. Every once in a while, she will add that this or that is cute, but nothing too big. Whenever there is a big discussion going on, he will only add a sentence or two. Maybe she is intimidated by Jim talking over her. I don't know. She asks questions sometimes and doesn't really add to the discussion. He's smart too, had a degree in math. Why not use that brain to add some unique discussion? The podcast would really benefit if you talk more.
That's me in a nutshell.
They want more of you. That's always good. I think it's good to be Boba Fett-like. And
yeah, they want the wrong part of me, Holmes. The longest part.
That may be true, yeah. And
Jonathan Holmes is a really nice and likable guy, but likes to show up late.
I like to, yeah.
He has a good insight on a lot of things that have to do with games. He's basically the guy that brings the podcast down to earth when things start getting a little crazy. Jonathan isn't nearly as opinionated as Jim, so it's a good change of pace. He's so nice when he disagrees with people, it's even a little painful to watch. I really hate that he doesn't like the same types of games that I do, but I can't find it in me to be mad at him. One extremely important thing I should bring up is that he's half black or something. Maybe he's from Guam, I'm not quite sure. It's good this podcast has at least a little diversity, though.
It's good. You gotta get that half Guam quota.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. Thank you, everyone, by the way, for all these lovely interviews you've done. Fuck the guy who said, love it, but I want to write a terrible review so Jim will read it out and laugh. Not going to do that, because you've given us a 1-star rating, which I was worried people would do when we wrote out those negative reviews before. That actually doesn't help us.
Yeah, less people will try listening to the podcast now, right?
Yeah, it's like, I get the joke, and I should have pointed out in the episode that don't do that, because I knew people would, and someone did. And so
here's the thing, I'll say this right now. When we get as big as, the Jared from Subway, or Tom Cruise, or Snooki, when we're
Snoopy.
huge, when we're huge celebrities that can take a little bit of, we lost $100,000, big deal. Sure, give us 1-star reviews at that point. That'll be fine. But we're still not rich or famous at all. Like where people think we're a big deal because we're a big deal to them, and that's really flattering. But the world at large has no idea who we are, and we're not rich at all.
No,
We're really not
definitely
rich
quite
people.
the opposite.
No, far from rich. No. It's an achievement that we eat and pay the rent and stuff. I mean, we're pulling it off, but yikes. Yeah, we're not quite at the level where we can take those joke attacks. That'll ruin us. Yeah.
But seriously, to those that did us some lovely reviews, like we've got 215 ratings. That ain't bad, and we're on 4 out of 5 stars. That's cool.
Yeah.
Most of them are for the old episodes.
A lot of them for the old ones, but we had a big upsurge.
Yeah, we've had maybe 50 since we restarted.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that, and it helps us out and everything. So thank you for that, boys and girls. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you legitimately think we suck, just write me an email. That'd be nice.
Oh, we got a question from King Crude, who is an old friend of mine who lived in the flat. The place I mentioned in Bromley that was horrible. And King Crude, who is an old and good friend of mine, he wanted me to tell everyone about the time he gave me a Swiss roll and beans as a leaving gift.
What's Swiss roll and beans? What's
Swiss
that?
roll is like
Swiss roll.
like a chocolate Swiss roll, like a chocolate cake.
Like the Little Debbie or whatever, or like
Little Debbie.
Hostess.
Sure,
I think?
okay, I can imagine it.
Okay, a Little Debbie. Imagine that in the middle of baked beans. Because we saw it on TV once and thought it would be fun to do. And this
what
was
TV
when
were you watching? This is amazing.
it was a
TV.
show. It was an old comedy show called Bo Selector. A shameful show, which no one is allowed to admit they liked. But
Was it on in the BBC? Was it UK show?
Channel 4. It had swearing and shouting. But yeah, for my last day in the flat before I moved house, my friend King Crude baked me beans, put a Swiss roll in it, and it was intended just for a joke, but I ate it anyway.
Was it any good?
For the same reason why I was sniffing a Sharpie at the beginning of the episode. It was absolutely disgusting. Baked beans are like one of my favourite things, by the way. My wife thinks I'm disgusting because, and I wouldn't do it now because I've got money, but back in the time, I invented a meal called beanie pasta, where you get some pasta and then just mix it up with baked beans.
That sounds pretty good. Starchy.
I thought it was good. It's, it fills you up more than you could ever need to be filled up, and it costs like £1 to make. My wife says it's disgusting, but I'm like, dude, it did the trick. I didn't vomit and was full for cheap, which was important back in the days when I made like 140 quid a week.
Sure. Yeah, when I was in graduate school, I'd make coffee pasta all the time because it filled me up and gave me caffeine too. So I just boiled pasta and coffee. Yeah, I browned it good, real brown pasta.
Browned it good. I'll brown that pasta real good.
I haven't really slept this month. I don't know if it shows. I'm pretty tired. I'm having fun though, but I'm pretty pooped out. Yeah.
Earthworm Jim asks if we've ever thought about doing a live call-in episode. We are never doing that. I want to kill that now. We did that once for the 100th episode of Podtoid, back on the old shows, and it ruined everyone's time ever.
Really?
It was awful.
Check that out.
It was. We tried a few when I did Podcastle as well. That old thing. And even then, it's just a mess. Those things are horrible. We can barely make a coherent. Well, we don't need to make a coherent show. We can barely make a listenable show just doing this shit every week. There's no way we could sustain a call-in episode. It would be 5 hours long, and 40 minutes of it would be usable.
Yeah, just guys saying hi and then hanging up. There was a lot of that when we did Faxtoid April 1st this year. Did you get on any of those calls, Jim and Tara? Did you?
No,
answer the
I'm
phone?
afraid of the telephone.
Yeah, me too. It's tough. My wife answered a lot of them actually for me, and guys would just call and go hi, and then hang up. It was cute, but it wouldn't make for a good podcast. I don't think.
Yeah.
Factoid was fun. I hope we do that again someday.
We will.
Hello, Jim. You still there?
Hello.
I was quieting down, which is my little signal I do for you when
Oh.
you want to move on to the next thing. Yep. That's what I do.
I'm just making noises to account for the fact I can't find another question to ask.
What do you think of that part in Revenge of the Sith when Padme Amidala is having twins, Luke and Leia, and there's this robot there that just goes, ooba, 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 ooba. You know that part?
Keep doing that again because I've got this.
Ooba, ooba. It's not explained. Then no one says, "Oh, the soothing maternal Tron is there to force her to cause her to calm down as she dies."
Oh, I guarantee you, there's already plans for a novel fucking spin-off of that. That's what they do with those Star Wars things. They make up a bunch of aliens, then a bunch of half-rate novelists come up with a story for them, and they've all got beef with Han Solo. Always. Every expanded universe character in Star Wars has beef with Han Solo, is the best bounty hunter, and every single physical and mental trait they have is indicative of their entire species, because the idea of individuals in the Star Wars universe is ridiculous.
Well, it's a lot of work. Yeah,
And it's stupid.
Yeah,
I mean, there's that bit, in that film, in that film called Star Wars,
yeah,
when Han Solo says, "Never tell me the odds," and everyone's like, "Oh my god, that Han Solo, he's such a rogue." One of those fucking writers who did all the novelizations and expanded the universe said, "Oh, that was because he is a Carillion, and all Carillions hate statistics." And it's that's how lazy these fucking people are. Everything, there are no individuals in Star Wars. They're all examples. In fact, we were talking about TV tropes. Look up on TV tropes the term "always chaotic evil," which is about that. How entire races and species of things are all the same, because to come up with an individual would be ludicrous.
Huh, yeah, I'll check that out. I always like Dungeons and Dragons classes and character types. Chaotic evil makes me smile just thinking about it. Are you looking for more questions, Jim?
Smurfy McGee says, "Are you feeling it, motherfuckers?"
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yeah, I don't like being exhausted because it makes me self-conscious. I expect I'm going to mess up. But I do have more fun when I'm too tired to be really fully aware of what I'm doing. It loosens you up.
I think
yes?
Being tired and stuff it lets you be naughtier. Anytime if I'm in a bad mood or tired or sick, I think I'm going to have a bad show, whether I'm doing this or Jimquisition or whatever. It usually just means I don't think about consequences, so I get to fuck around even more.
Yeah, I'll think about them. Now I'm remembering that not that long ago there was total silence and I was just cooing for a while and feeling a little self-conscious about that. But at the time I was like, oh, of course I'm doing this.
It's lost in the moment, man.
This is what these 10,000 people want to listen to. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they want.
I'm going to have to cut it here because it's getting dark. God.
Oh, it's dark out.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's pitch black. Yeah.
Well, we've had a fun
Bright and
time.
sunny.
Yeah, we've had a fun one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Friends are there. I don't know why I did the one lyric from the Garfield and Friends intro theme that I know.
Is that what that was from? I forgot about that.
Friends are there. That's all I remember.
People should watch that video of Electric Light Orchestra set to a bunny anime girl with the xenomorphs and Superman and Star Wars and everything in it. Remember that video?
What?
Oh, yeah. Max Scoville tried to send it to you on Twitter.
Xenomorphs and Yellow.
It's set to an ELO song, which is really good. I'd never heard it before, and I was really impressed.
What one is it?
It's something about, being on the edge of time, and we all know we're going to die, but we've just got to live for the moment and be ourselves and be all right, sort of thing. And there's an anime girl from the 80s, so it's a different kind of style than you might be used to today, with bunny ears, just suddenly fighting a xenomorph, and then having a lightsaber and fighting Darth Vader, and then Superman flies by, and then Alf is there, and the entire cast of the Muppets.
Shit.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'll send it to you. I'm sorry, and
that's amazing.
when we post this episode, maybe we can send a link to it so people can know.
Oh yeah, I'll completely forget. But the spirit is there that I will do this.
Do I have permission to edit your post and just add the link?
You can have permission to edit the post and put the link.
Thank you. I won't add any words. I'll just add the link. Okay,
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great.
Well, I guess that's it then. There were some other really good questions, but it's fucking 10 to 6. My wife's gonna kill me. Just sat in here shouting all afternoon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all of your support, like your iTunes reviews, and those of you who we tricked into buying the Android app. No, thank you for listening, and I'd like to thank also Max Scoville, who is now dead, and Tara Long, thank you, and Jonathan Holmes, thank you, and
Thank you, Jim.
thank me, and thank God for me. And yes, do watch Tara and Max on the Destructoid show every Monday,
Yes.
Wednesday, and Friday.
It is our giveaway week this week. Since today I guess is our 1 year anniversary. Yesterday? Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yesterday was.
Yeah. So we're giving away a bunch of stuff all week.
Awesome.
So yeah.
What things are you like or not?
We got a custom pair of A40 headsets from Astro.
Of course you have. We have those for every giveaway we have.
Those Astro guys are
got a
awesome.
couple
doing stuff.
We got a couple of Guitar Hero bundles, one of which has a faceplate that is signed by Taylor Swift.
Whoa.
Oh wow, you can masturbate all over that.
Yeah. We've got a bunch of codes for Black Ops Resurrection, Dragon Age 2 DLC, Serious Sam 3. And then we've also got a PC Shooter prize pack, which comes with a full copy of Battlefield 3 and a Razer keyboard, and a multiplayer code for Counter-Strike.
You're so good at just saying things now. I mean, when we first started, you were good at saying things. But now you can just read stuff, and you don't stutter, you don't stammer, there's no uhs.
Oh, I stutter all the time.
Not that I've seen. I'm
Oh, yeah,
impressed.
Definitely. So certain days are bad. I don't know why.
Well,
Some days I just trip over my words.
Jesus,
But
I got
such is life.
I just had 4 packages just delivered to me. Wow. I got one from GameStop. That's going to be the golden Saints Row 3 USB stick I got. Using those GameStop points just because it was there. But no, do tune in, as said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Destructoid Show. They're giving away tons of awesome shit. God damn it. Do watch Jonathan Holmes. He's got a show talking to women about video games. This week he talks to a lady with an accordion. About, what's the subject?
Well, we started talking about online passes, but in the end, what the episode is really about is whether being a gamer and having that be a part of your identity is something you should be uptight and worried about.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it's really about. Yeah. And I think I'm gonna try to give away stuff on my dumb show too. Yeah. We'll watch for that. Maybe I'll get
both
to do
of
that.
those are on youtube.com/dtoid.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah.
Forgot to mention that.
That's where
Awesome.
you can watch them.
Stay tuned. Destructoid, October 14th. The review for Batman Arkham City is going up. That is one you will not want to miss. We'll have Aliens Infestation reviewed as well. And fuck it. Watch me on the Jimquisition on the escapistmag.com. Oh, go on. Might as well.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
So long.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Always feels abrupt when we end. It's just...
Yeah, well, I never really
always
wanted it.
We're going to
Yeah.
shout at you for 2 hours and then tell you to fuck off.